Thank you, Zoom voice.
Thank you, Zoom voice.
Recording in progress. Yeah. So you usually use edibles, you said, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to get any when we were in Vegas for the North American Championships? Because
no,
do that.
I usually my buddy of mine goes and picks up a stash from Colorado. But I recently, I know this is Sumo and Sake, but I recently got some gummies from they're right here in Texas. I don't know how they do this.
How they're allowed to?
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know, because it's called Lone Star Farms out in Hill Country.
I have no clue, sir. Yeah, I haven't done any weed in about 8 to 9 years, almost a decade now. I mean, I was never a huge fan because I have a high constitution, so like I'd have to smoke a lot and then I'd start coughing.
Yeah,
it wasn't fun for me to get there.
And you got shit to do during the day.
Yeah. And then I'm always a very calm person. I mean, you know me, I'm pretty calm all the time already. So instead of feeling calm, I'd get paranoid, and it was a weird paranoid.
Yeah.
I thought people were after me. I thought everybody wanted to fight me. And like when you're really high, you can't move, and I'd be looking at people like, yeah, you just fucking fight me. I don't care. I'll kick you. That's going on in my head. It wasn't a fun high for me.
What?
And so, okay, the last time we had a roommate, me and my roommate Carlos, we had this other roommate, and he made a weed cake.
Oh,
he
shit.
didn't do it right, and we didn't know until we started eating. You're supposed to, guys, if you do that shit, you're supposed to do it in the butter, right?
Yes.
Like, yes. Now, he just threw it into the cake batter, and it was a vanilla cake. So
wait, he was throwing the flour. He was throwing the straight weed.
The straight weed into yes.
Oh dear God!
To even eat this shit, we had to cover it in chocolate icing, like every inch of it, just to freaking eat it. Cause it was like eating like grass. It was gross.
Yeah, that's got to be disgusting.
And I had like a slice and a half, and we were like, well, at least we're not like messed up or anything. And then we watched, for all you nerds out there, we watched the last episode of the David Tennant Doctor Who. The very last one. We watched it that night, me and Carlos. And Carlos, it hit us halfway through the movie. And Carlos at the end of the movie was just bawling, just crying nonstop. And I was pacing back and forth because I was angry because I figured they were doing it to spite me. So I was like, this is bullshit. You can't get rid of my favorite doctor. And I'm yelling and shit. And like we were just really pissy, right? And then suddenly, like, the movie's over, and I'm going to bed, and this is the only time it's ever happened on weed. I had to go and vomit. I had to vomit on weed because it was just gross. And I thought, I'm not joking. I'm not saying I had this weird high where I thought I had died and I was in hell. I was in some sort of purgatory hell. I don't know why it happened. And then my friend Carlos, again, for some reason, he got all sad and weepy that night. And he came in and was like, I don't know why my life's like this. It's like things should be better and stuff. I'm already like in my 30s and blah, blah, blah. And I was sitting there thinking in my brain, yeah, we're dead in hell, Carlos. Of course life sucks. I vomited like 3 times that night. Imagine, this was not a good high.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
I can see that.
That is why I haven't like done any weed in like 8 to 9 years almost now.
Holy shit. Well,
maybe in a decade. I'd have to look up when the last Doctor Who episode was.
Holy shit. Well, I don't know that I've ever felt like I was in hell, but I don't know. I just know that I never smoke indicas because that shit I get really weird. Like the weed feels like it's like pulling me down into the couch. Like, no, you don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm like, no, but I do want to go somewhere. And the weed's like, no, you don't. And I'm like, stop that. So I feel like it's like a battle.
I like that. I like the fact that the weed has a deep voice.
Yeah, weed's like, come on, bro, just sit here on this couch. I'm like, no, I need to go do stuff.
That seems right. Weed should have this deep, slow voice.
Yeah.
Listen. We're good right on this couch. Don't you even think about it. Put on a movie.
Shut up,
Grab a snack. That's as much moving you're doing for the next 2 hours.
Yeah. You see that fridge over there? Just get whatever you want.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Hey.
Welcome to Lone Star Sumo. This is Sake&Sumo. I am Caleb Backus.
And
this is Justin Kizzard.
hello.
Here after one of the craziest Bashos I've ever seen that ended not really that exciting, honestly. It ended in the way that kind of you expected it. And
yeah.
That was a little disappointing, but the rest of the Basho was like, holy crap, what's happening?
Yeah. Week 1 had me thinking, like, oh shit, we're gonna have just like some random winner. Like Terunofuji was already. I was like, oh, there's such a huge gap. He's not gonna come back, so that means he's out of the picture. But yeah, this was I would say week 1 was more chaotic, and then things started to like kind of fall in line. Other than like Takarafuji.
Yeah, you're completely correct. Yeah, I thought when I was younger, there was a tournament. I don't remember when. I think it was the late '90s. I want to say I couldn't remember one, but there was 5 guys at 11-4, and that was a 5-guy playoff. Musashi Mara won the whole thing. He had to beat like 3 guys to do it.
Yeah,
and that is what I thought we were heading for. I thought we were going to have 3 to 4 guys with like 11 or 12 wins and have a big playoff, and I was so excited for that. So even though it was still a crazy Basho, I was a little disappointed on the last day, even though, holy crap, there were some good matches on the last day.
Oh, there was, yeah, we should definitely talk about that. There was some great matches. Pretty bummed about the three people who had their chance. Like,
yeah.
All 3, it would have been a 4-way tie. All 3 of them lost on the same on day 15.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that before we break it down like normal, because I've been seeing some stuff on the internet, some chatters. So there's some of the stuff we're gonna bring up today from the internet. Okay. One of those things is some people are upset that that your boy, the Ozeki, who didn't have a great day, was taking on Terunofuji the last day. That was a fit. Here's my thought of it. I thought it was a good choice because you kind of want him to face Nozeki. And it was either that or Shodai, right? I don't think he had fought Shodai. I could be wrong, but I don't think he fought Shodai.
No, he didn't. But
if we're right, it's because it was so freaking like whatever. And out of all the Ozekis, the guy who's been most successful lately, even though if it wasn't this Basho, was your boy, Takakumi. And in fact, he beat him to win that title not too long ago. That was two Bashos ago. So you see, I thought that was a good choice.
It was because look, had it been Terunofuji and Shodai at the end, that would have been even more uneventful.
Yeah,
because Shodai sucked ass and he's fucking Kataban.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I felt that it was okay.
Yeah,
I think I probably would have preferred Takakesho looking back because that was a better match. But scheduling 2 days beforehand, I think I would have done the same thing they did.
Yeah, Takakesho. I mean, I liked his journey. And how, and who he faced, especially going into week 2, because he really got to. I think week 2 he turned it on. He turned it on pretty well, and he had some very clean runs. He fucking handled my boy Mitakayumi like it was fucking Butskari. Like
he hit him perfect. Yeah, I was like, shit.
I said, damn, what is this practice?
Train tracks like that, dude. That was fucking not in the top level. That was fantastic. But yeah, I felt like okay. I was gonna. Guess we'll get. Let's just do Takakesho now. I usually like to work our way up, but we are already here. Let's talk about them.
Cool.
You're right. The first week was bad for him and everybody for the Ozekis.
For the top guys. Yeah.
They were pretty bad.
But for the record, Shodai's always has a bad first week.
But we proved last time that it's more of a mental thing for him. He's not a bad wrestler. He just doesn't give everything, it feels like. He can't get into whatever he needs to get into.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
With Takesho, I thought it was a little bit mental too, but I think all the injuries are catching up to him a little bit mentally. And it took most of this Basho to get back into confidence. The last 5 or 6 days, I felt like I could start seeing him coming off and finally hitting people again like he used to. This is the only guy who can knock back anybody I've ever. I mean, he can knock back anybody except maybe Ichinojo. Like everybody else, he can knock you fucking back.
Yeah. Which, rest in peace, Mr. Ichinojo, for this Basho. You'll be fine. Yeah. You'll be fine for the next one.
At least he was high. At least it wasn't, Ishura where he's going to be going to Jurio because he had to drop out.
Yeah.
But Takesho was like his best matches were near the end. The one with Terunofuji was fucking classic. It reminded me of that awesome 2021 run they had where they were fighting usually on the last day for the fucking Yusho title, for the fucking championship, and they were like going at it. And that's what it looked like. And I know it was happening because Terunofuji won a title and Takesho won that 8. So it wasn't the same as when they're fighting for a title, but they fought hard. Takesho used to clap. I didn't expect that. He clapped like, oh, boom. I did not expect that. He did knock him to the edge a few times, though. He came close. Day
15, Takesho was pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
we have to talk about that.
Yes, we'll get back to that.
No, we're gonna talk about that now because that is the big internet thing. Like I've actually been arguing with people online today, and I try never to do that. I don't care what dumb shit they say.
Well, what are the internets saying?
They say that he definitely stepped out, and I was like,
no, that's bullshit. You could see, dude. You could see his heels. It just like our fucking Tochinoshin conspiracy. Yeah. I'm glad that the refs are finally starting to go to camera a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could see it, dude. You could see it. He's just rimming the edge. It never touches over. He's just barely. I mean, he's a big dude, so obviously, him stepping on the Tawara, his heel is gonna like kind of dip over a little bit.
Other side of the Tawara, but it never hit the clay, which is when you're out.
Yeah.
You get the other side of Tawara. And my thing, and this is the argument I made online, like, guys, there's sand, and I'm going to say this for guys who don't know, maybe not everybody knows this. There is sand that they sweep on the outside of the ring every time for this, and they looked at it.
Yes.
They looked for a footprint to see if, like, that dirt got disturbed, just in case they missed it. And it didn't. This isn't.
They make sure that sand is nice and smooth because all they look for is even just the slightest divot.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why it's easy. You got that, and you got replay. They made the right call. They did. It was insanely fun, close.
Yeah,
it was crazy. But
I mean, he was blasting Shodai. I mean, it was full Takesho mode, and actually both. I'll give it to Shodai. Both of them put their style on display, and Shodai was constantly parrying Takesho's blasts. He was taking them and getting all the way to the edge, and then would kind of like do his thing on the edge where he would kind of like angle it. But Shodai kept up. He kept up every single time he got kind of like angled off. He'd be able to switch it back on. And do it again, switch it back on, boom. I mean,
both of them. They would get to the edge of the Tawara and they found a way to get back into the middle over and over again until it was over. It was.
I think at one point, Takesho was like, he was backpedaling. He had like one leg up in the air. He was like, and still he turned it on. And I'm so happy because, I think Shodai is what? He ended with like
6-9.
Yes. Are you sure 6-9?
Yeah, both.
No. 5 and 10. He ended with 5 and 10.
I can find that real quick. I have it right here. You're right, 5 and 10. Yes. It was 5 and 10.
Yes.
So yeah, we got 2 Ozekis next time in Kataban.
And I have a feeling, I don't know what happened with Mitakayumi, but
like I said after our last one, he's streaky. I believe he's streaky. He can come back next time and win like 10 or 12. He's good. Just sometimes.
This Basho was just off, and it bummed me out. But I know that he has the heart to come back and be okay. Of the two, of Shodai and Mitakayumi, I think Mitakayumi's got more staying power as Ozeki than Shodai. We'll see. Shodai is kind of sneaky, and he finds a way.
Last time, just that second week, get like 8 in a row.
Jesus, man.
8 of his last 9, I think, last time. But yeah, okay. So we did that. I didn't mean to start off so high, but those matches were great. But we're gonna go back to Jurio real quick, where we usually start. And with Jurio, almost every guy I love did terrible.
I wanted to mention that. That was my notes of guys that you like Yago,
Kaise.
Yep. Kaise, Yago. I was like, oh, these are all of Caleb's dudes, and they just couldn't finish. Just could not finish.
Inho couldn't get it done this time, and he looked okay in some of the matches, but then it was like the first week he was still carrying off that 10 win he had last time, and then the second week something happened and he just dropped, and I don't know.
I will at least give a little ray of sunshine with Inho. His day 15, he looked the strongest that he had ever been. Yeah, he looked nice. He looked really good on day 15.
He really did.
But he's gonna drop down. He got
at least a few. I think he was 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Here's the big one though. There's 2 big ones really. Kaise might drop out of Jurio. I don't know if he will, because a lot of people sucked below, like the low parts of Jurio. So I think what's going to save him is the fact that some of those guys lower than him were just even worse. We already said we thought he was going to retire when he dropped the Jurio. Do you think he'll retire when he drops right out of the pay period, if he does?
I think so. And now that being said, he is a new husband and a new father. I would hope that. So I know he's got a lot to think about other than himself. So if he drops down if he drops down, because once you drop, a lot of people don't know, once you drop out of Jurio, you're not paid a salary anymore.
No,
that means he's not making no money.
Yeah, you get a stipend at that point.
That's a lot to think about, especially with someone with a family.
Sticking with that same theme, one of your favorite guys, Shohozan, is definitely dropping out with his 3-12 record. And he's 38. He's already had a long badass career. Yeah. I think he will retire. He says he hasn't said anything yet, but
he will. He will. Yeah. I was going to get to that, but yes, he will. It hurts my heart because he's my my gangster dude. I've been watching him for years, but I don't know that I see a road for him back up into the top level.
Hey, being up in the top 2 divisions until you're 38 is amazing.
He's had an amazing run. He's had a really amazing run. I will not be surprised over the next month if he announces his retirement. It wouldn't be a shock, and I wouldn't be sad. I really have enjoyed him. I like guys like him and Yoshikaze back in the day. They're brawlers, and I appreciate the heart of guys like that. And I think a lot of the young generation is missing some of that
toughness. I feel like that
toughness. Guys like Oho, Oho's like 20 or 21. And I feel like they're missing. There's potential, but they're missing the heart of the old school guys, the Showa era guys, and so I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you with the toughness thing because like you can see in some of the other older guys, like Hakuna Fuji and some of those guys up there, they're in their mid-30s, like young to mid-30s. You can see their toughness when they fight people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that in what I guess if you're in your 20s in the Heisei era guys, some of that is kind of missing. Some of like that toughness. Part of me, like I don't condone violence or hazing, but I think part of that mental toughness was due to a really tough environment in training.
But I still rather people not get treated like that if possible. I mean, work hard, I get.
Yeah.
But treating like crap, I don't get. There's a level though, but it's just there
has to be a balance. I understand, just like a Marine, like military dudes, like I understand that there's a purpose for hazing, but also then you have these moments of these guys, like running away from stables and this and that and whatever. And some might say, well, that's kind of like weeding off the weak ones or whatever. But
I don't think so. Sometimes people take it too far. I guess probably
it's too far.
Both, but
yeah.
Some say, I'm not going to say who, because I've heard this in interviews with some retired sumo wrestlers, so I'm not going to say who, but some say that it has to come with, some of it come from the fact that more and more go through high school and college now. They're not doing 15 or 16 or 17 going into sumo. And so, and when they get out of college, sometimes they're starting higher because of they ended in All Japan really high. So they start at Sadame or something instead of like way down at the bottom.
Yeah.
That might be part of it too. It might be, but I'm cool with that too, because if you don't make it in sumo, having a higher education is a good thing, guys.
I feel like Japan should have that conversation, because the majority of guys who come straight out of high school, unless they become a hakuho, which come on, that's there's not many that make it that far. If you're just got a high school education, there's not many options for you outside of sumo, which is also why, sadly enough, you see guys all the way down at the bottom who are like 40.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do afterwards.
Because it's like, what the fuck?
They never stayed high, or they never got high enough, or never stayed into the high thing long enough to become a coach or something in the JSA or become a member of that stuff. So I get that.
That bums me out. But like, they're just in it, like they're literally just keeping their body together enough to have free housing, free food, and
some of them don't even get through high school. Some of them come like right at 15. They just go straight into it. And
that shouldn't.
I'm okay. Sometimes
I'm not okay with that.
Sometimes higher education is not for everybody. It's an issue we also have in America right now, is we want to try to get everybody into college instead of like getting them training for something they might actually like doing.
Right.
And it's an issue. Everybody.
Well, yeah, like college is maybe not for everybody, but like I feel like they should integrate some kind of technical program to give them life skills.
I'm cool with that. I feel like America should do more technical stuff. Of course, I'm a little biased. I just went to one, and I'm trying to pass test to get into IT. So I'm a little fucking biased. But thank you. But it's what it is. Okay. We got a couple more things that
we went off on a tangent.
It's an important tangent that us not being Japanese doesn't really matter what we think, but anyway. I was a little disappointed in Rudin. He got 9 wins in Juryo.
Yeah,
started off like 6-0.
He had a great start. He had a great start.
It's cool they didn't win it. But at the same time, I expected them to get at least 10, 11 wins.
Yeah. At the the way he was going week one, I was like, oh, cool. All right. So Ryuden's finally, he's going to be back up in the top level. But yeah, then I don't know. It just went downhill from there.
Yeah, it was just he was off for something.
Not downhill, but
it wasn't like he was terrible, but he didn't look like Rudin, that's for sure, for a little bit.
Yeah.
But he got 9. Nishiki Fuji. I'm probably mispronouncing that.
Yeah, no, Nishiki Fuji.
Nishiki Fuji. He won the whole thing. That was his first huge show ever. So
that was cool. That was cool for him.
That's Rudin still might make it in. I'm pretty sure there's about 4 guys that are probably going to get into the top division. I could be wrong. I don't know. This is just after looking after day 15. But I think that it's possible that he could get in next time at the bottom. But I know. I really did expect him to get 10 or 11 wins at least. And 9 is still good. It's real good. I couldn't do that, you couldn't do that, I'm not sure.
Facts. That's a fact.
But like I said before, I feel he's a guy who should be bouncing in and out of the joy. That M10 to like M1, that kind of is like in and out of the joy. Like top talent, kind of getting his butt kicked, going down, kicking some butt. That's where I believe his talent is. And so I just expect more from him when he gets into the Churio. Last time, he did great. But that's what I think. I am hoping, since he was at M1, that Chiyomaru he got 87. He's at M1, so hopefully move him up one, and he'll be back in the top division. That'd be fun. I would love that.
Always, Mr. Maru.
So we are ending this. Since before we get into the top division for real, we can talk about what we're drinking tonight. I saw some pretty reddish colored stuff you got going on right there.
Oh, we'll see. That's actually the color.
Blood wine. Is that what we're looking at?
No, that's the color of the glass.
Oh.
The glass is this color. My shit's kind of a pink color. So tonight, I'm not drinking sake, but because I've had quite a fill of sake this weekend. We had a sales rep come in and bring like 6 or 8 bottles of different sakes for us, and we, I'm trying to get some new sakes into our tap room, just like we call it, just guest sakes. So I've had quite a bit of sake. So tonight,
this rosé though.
Yeah, so this is a rosé, and it's actually a Mexican rosé. It's called Oliveras Rosado, and it's pretty freaking good. The price is right. I mean, it's about $13.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I was thinking, okay, a $13 rosé, this has to taste like ass. It does not. So if you want quality for and a bang for your buck, and you're okay with rosé, Caleb said it best earlier before we were recording. Like, you can talk shit about me or Caleb, but rosé is fucking awesome. Because sometimes, like Caleb said, a red can be too much, and a white cannot be, is not enough. Rosés are right in the middle, and it's really fucking good.
It's like we're Goldilocks up in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Caleb, what are you drinking?
Right now, I am drinking, one of my top 5 beers is Shiner, and they have this thing called Brewer's Pride. See if I can get a good thing in there.
Brewer's Pride.
Becker's Vineyard.
Oh, shit.
What they do is they make their Shiner beer in wine barrels.
Okay.
This nice, smooth wine taste at the end. Instead of like a bitter taste like you get with some darker beers, it has this nice wine taste. And it's one of my favorites. Shiner period's one of my favorites. It's they make blonde ale into it so that it because the blonde ale is not weaker, but not as strong of a taste, so it really takes up that wine from the barrel.
Oh, nice.
And
I'm wondering, I'm gonna have to look up where Becker's Vineyards is. I mean, I know Texas has a shit ton of vineyards. So
true. But actually, I don't think a lot of people know that. We actually have some vineyards. I know we're not the Napa Valley, but we have really good wines.
Most people don't know our hill country, east of Austin and San Antonio. Our hill country produces the second most amount of wine in the country underneath Napa Valley.
Yeah.
Most people didn't know that.
Yeah, there's some good ones. And my favorite thing is like some of them are like your rosé isn't that expensive and they're still good tasting, like $15 or less a bottle, and you're like,
yeah,
this is a damn good wine, and it's really nice. I really
and
enjoy
that's
it.
like in the alcohol industry, price does not always equal quality.
No, that's true. That's true.
You are a lot of times you're paying like you're paying per bottle for the amount of advertising and marketing that they have done for the company. So if it's a lesser known, if it's a newer company or a lesser known company, they could be producing like the same quality stuff that you're drinking of this, quote unquote top shelf. They just haven't put the amount of like $500,000 to $1 million worth of advertising.
They're always hoping more for word of mouth and stuff, and people just being like, "Hey, it's good," and that helps sometimes because another Texas drink, a very famous one, Tito's. I'm not a vodka fan, but Tito's became really famous just from word of mouth. They didn't have a bunch of commercials and stuff. They opened their thing up and said, here's a vodka we're making. And people were like, hey, this is a damn good vodka. And people would talk about it until it became a thing. I also, on the cheaper ones, I sometimes look for not impressive bottles because some guys who want to keep those lower guys who want to keep their price down on their beer, liquor, whatever they're making, and they don't have a huge advertised name. They also have bottles. They're just like regular bottles, nothing fancy. Because that's going to cost more too. I mean, like I love Maker's Mark, but you're paying for that bottle also in Maker's Mark. You're paying for that little red thing on top and stuff, and the look at it. Paying for that cool crown bottle that looks like nothing else looks. And I still love that too. I'm just saying, you're paying for that as well, not just
that and all of those tiny little details, which are, they're beautiful, but that adds to labor costs. Adding, having to add those, the wax seal on top of things and stuff. It just adds labor costs, and then you're paying for these cute bells and whistles. Try different things, and you be the judge of whether something tastes good. And try some bottom shelf stuff, try some top shelf stuff, and then be the judge.
Yes, we are two guys who love talking about sumo and alcohol. Yes. That is why this show exists.
So let's get into the top level, because I do want to talk about the road to redemption for Meisei.
Okay, yeah, I kind of want to talk about that too, because I am not as pleased with Meisei. I get to hear his road to redemption, but it's because
he had one. Okay, I will say, what day was it? Day 14 really sealed the deal. You could see it written all over his face. If you rewatch him after his win, you could tell it was a mental struggle from the last Basho. I am sure he, for 2 months, was kicking his own ass and was just like, what in all the fucks? How the fuck did this happen? And for him he got Kachikoshi, he had some really, I think like his wins were solid wins. His day 14 against Indo was
that was his best match, that's for sure.
Beautiful. And then and right after he won, you could tell he was talking to himself, because I know I do this sometimes myself too, when I'm like kind of down on myself. But he was kind of like, I knew you could do it. He was like, come, like, and they're not supposed to show a lot of emotion, but I think he was telling himself. He wasn't like, fuck yeah, I beat you. He was telling himself like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Like, seriously, rewatch day 14 at the end and look at that face. That's a face of an athlete that was like insanely down on himself, and then finally and proved to himself that like, there you are, Meisei. There you are.
Maybe it was the whole mental thing. My thing is, I think a lot of the guy. I think he's a guy who I think should always be in the joy. Maybe not always in the Sanyaku, but like always in the joy, like fighting those guys. And here he is in 13, getting an 8 and 7. And I'm like, I expect more of him. And granted, was a weird Basho. So maybe that was the issue. But part of me thinks, what if he was hurt? In fact, let me go off topic a little. Not we're still on sumo. Let me go off topic a little bit because I didn't mention something I wanted to about Takakesho. If you watch day 15, and hopefully I have some footage of it, maybe I'm a little worried because when he walked off the dojo after that hardcore match with Shodai, he was walking very gingerly. And it could be because we've had tournaments, me and Justin. It could be his body just is hurting. It may have nothing to do with injury. I think I said, "Are you injured or are you hurt?" There's things I always say. Hurt just means it hurts. Your body hurts. Yeah. You rest a little bit, you're fine.
Yeah, shit. Every tournament, I'm hurt.
Yeah, at the end of our tournaments, we usually walk around like barely, like just kind of like limping, slowly moving where we're going.
But we all drink.
Yeah, but he was walking so gingerly off of that dojo that I'm hoping he's not injured again. I'm hoping it's just hurt. I'm hoping it's just like that was 15 days. Crap, my body's killing me. With Maysay, I've been wondering if he's been hurt this entire time and he's just coming back from it. He just didn't tell anybody. Like
I think so. And Eri, I was talking with Eri at the bar, and she thinks the same thing. She thinks that he's been injured.
We've had the same,
but he wasn't. He doesn't say anything about it.
So. Yeah, I had the same discussion with her because she, like me, thinks he should. He's not like one of the best, but depends on what you think of the best. But he should be fighting the best. He's that good.
Yeah.
Speaking of a good Basho, Ichi Yamamoto got 8. The only thing he did exactly what I expect him to do because I expect him to be a little higher than the bottom. Is when he fought the guys in the bottom, he beat the living crap out of them. Yeah, but the guys on top, they beat him. That's where I think he.
But he got a solid win on day 15 from what I remember. He went again, or
no, he lost on day 15.
No, or I'm thinking of day 14.
Yeah, he got 8 pretty quickly, and he got 8 wins total. But he got them almost all against lower rate guys, guys who are around M10. But if you go back and watch those. This is what I'm talking about. The guy's technique is beautiful. It's like exactly what you should do when you're thrusting. I love watching that guy wrestle. That's how a thruster should wrestle. Like a guy who thrusts first. That like his feet are flat. He makes small little steps when he goes forward, so he doesn't overcommit.
Yep.
He's a fun guy to watch. I enjoy him a lot.
He's definitely one to keep in our watch category.
Oho, you them 6 and 9. He's gonna probably drop out again.
He had such potential when he got into the top level because it was like this new face. He's got the right build for it. I just don't know that
sometimes
he's super young. Dude's like, I think he's like 20 years old or 21, something like that.
22, right? He just turned 22.
Oh, okay.
Just 22 like a month or 2 ago.
But I've gotten to see him, like this is his third Basho in the top level. Yeah. And so I've gotten to see enough of him to where I'm kind of over watching him. Like I'm just like I was excited. I always get excited over when new guys hit the top level. I like to see where they mentally, do they think, oh, it's my time to shine? Are they like, oh no, I'm scared of the spotlight? Or but I just don't see enough heart in him, and it's not exciting to watch. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
I think he still has a lot of talent. I just don't think he believes in himself. I think it's more of him not believing in himself than not having heart. I think he still, when he loses, he seems like he's like, shit, oh man, I'm just not good enough. Because there are times where he doesn't think about it. He beats the crap out of people. He like grabs them and like runs them out, and you're like, how strong is this dude? I think
that's what bothers me. Like, I see him pushing, like he's physically doing the right things, but then like something is like, it just feels like something's missing.
Yeah, I feel like it's confidence because you have to have confidence at this level. In any sport, once you get to the top level, if you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to compete against the guys who believe they're going to beat you every time.
Yeah.
Because the talent level, the higher you go, it gets closer and closer together.
That's very fucking true.
So that's what I think is going on.
Who else? What we got?
We got a lot of people.
Sada no Umi.
Thank you. Had 11 wins. Really freaking impressive.
Woo!
Did not expect that.
That was nuts. And Sada no Umi is one of those ones that's always been a sleeper for me. Like I think in this whole podcast, this might be the first time we've ever talked about Sada no Umi. That should say something because he's never exciting, but boy, he kind of was this Basho.
Yeah, he's like a guy who kind of just does this. They call him rank and filers, and he kind of like
it's just always there.
Yeah, he's kind of like that guy. That guy just, I'm just gonna come in and do my job.
Yeah,
I got 7 wins this time. I got 8 wins this time.
True.
And another guy who I feel like that is another guy got 11 wins is talking no show. I always feel like he's that guy who gets 7.
He's a rank and filer.
Yeah, and then sometimes he might get 9 or 10 on good days. 11-4, and it was a fantastic 11-4 for him. I felt like I thought he was going to win it at one point.
Yeah, and it was so cute. If you watch the Basho, there's because Takano shows he's not very exciting, but apparently he too has a fan club, and it was kind of fun to see kind of like his. Most of them look like kind of older ladies and stuff, but they have like their little like brown. It was like a brown and white colored. What do they call those? Not a yukata, the shorter sleeve. Anyways, the shorter sleeve jackets. Anyways, but like he has a really cute fan club because I'm like, how does Takanosho have a fan club? He's not that great, but apparently there are a bunch of hot old ladies who are totally into it.
So yeah, we had like a lot of crazy things. The first week was the craziest because there were people, Tamawashi, Koronawaka. There's just so many guys who I wasn't expecting to be in the lead, who were in the lead. I think Hoshoyu was one of the people up there, and I mean, you know how much I love that man, but I was still surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I never ever doubt Tamawashi. Like, he's that guy. It was kind of funny. Like after Keiko today, we all went to go have right after Keiko, we all went to go have a drink, and I think we had said something like Tamawashi's that guy who's just like a cock blocker.
That's actually pretty well described.
But in a good way. Like it's kind of funny because like pinning him as the cock blocker. Like he's never the guy who's gonna win the Basho, but like the guy that you want to win the Basho, like on day 13 or day 14 or whatever, he's always the one who literally fucking just shatters your dreams and changes the whole fucking direction of the Basho. And so he's literally the official cock blocker. And like as soon as you think, yeah, I'm gonna get gold, and then it's like that day you've got Tamawashi and you're like, this motherfucker is about to shatter my dreams. God damn it.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I didn't know. It looked like for a while he had a good shot. There's 2 guys I want to talk about. They're both into this tournament because I usually wait. Anybody can have a good Basho, but when people have 2 or 3 in a row, I start thinking, should I start really thinking about this guy? And 2 of them this time, Koronawaka and Kiribayama. Kiribayama.
Yeah.
Both just at this point, it wasn't that they had good ones. I expect them to have good ones every time. They've been pretty consistent in the last about 3 Bashos. This whole year, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm man, we should really start talking about these guys more often because they're good.
I know we neither of them two have been on our radar. I think we've really been fixated so much more on Hoshoryu and Wakataka Kage.
Yeah.
But these guys are creeping up right behind them.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, so yes, we should keep a highlight on them.
Yeah, I just want to say that because I thought they were both good, and we're gonna pay more attention to them.
And they're consistent.
They are consistent.
I think with you and I think we try for the most part, try to look for certain consistencies and to kind of project where their I don't know, their direction, if they are for sure going to be, have a future, or if they're going to, just be floating around rank and filers. For me, guys like Sadanaumi, there's no real consistency with him then, and it doesn't, that has no future. He's just coming to the office.
Yeah, he's coming to the office.
Yeah. Kiribayama for damn sure. And what's his name? Kotonowaka. Yeah, they are ones to watch.
So at M1 we had Takayasu. We had Ichinojo as well, but he obviously went 0-15 because he had COVID again.
Yeah. Again. What are these people like? Ichinojo, I feel like this is like the third time he's had COVID. And I mean, dude, we're all gonna get it. Like I'll say it on this podcast. I've had COVID before too.
I haven't gotten it yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I have not gotten it yet.
You're a unicorn.
I am. My roommate Carlos hasn't gotten it yet either. And then Elizabeth caught it. Never mind.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So me and Carlos, we're like, shit. Yeah. That's weird because I worked. I mean, he didn't, but I worked in the whole 2 years that.
Yeah, I remember.
I was going to sumo and shit, and I just never got it. I just never did.
Dude, yeah. The funny thing is, I didn't. We were doing sumo, all of it, like me and Dark Circle Sumo and Mighty Eagle Sumo. When everybody was shutting down and not even practicing, we kept this shit fucking going. We're like, no, I'm not gonna get fucking soft during this shit.
Yeah, we kept going
and never caught it. Never got, and then
everybody who was with us, all the people who were with us were really careful. Jessica Hopper, she caught it twice, but both times she left. She went to a wedding, and then one time at a family holiday, Christmas. And she's like, I'm not coming next Tuesday just in case. And both times, thank God, because she ended up having it, and we didn't get affected. And everybody's been like that, So
yeah. I think because everybody, Dark Circle, Mighty Eagle, everybody cherishes Keiko.
Yeah.
And so you wouldn't want to have, you wouldn't want to ruin that. And I know one or two of our guys who've had it and stuff, and they've been responsible enough to be like, I'm not going to fuck this up for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to take off practice. And, and everyone, they'll say it, it's like, okay, yeah, I got COVID. Cool. And so thank goodness there's never been any kind of COVID shit going around with Keiko. I think I got it something random. When was that shit? It was in December. And the crazy thing, I work at a bar. I see and talk and touch with people all the time, but I've been pretty good because the bar has enough, has good distance and what do you call it? Filtration or nice high ceilings and stuff. I'm not in somebody's face. So I was really good. I can't remember where exactly I got it, but that sucks. It wasn't at Texas Sake or it wasn't at Sumo, which is crazy because both of those are very close. They're contact.
Yeah, the reason why a lot of people didn't do Sumo is because it's close contact and it's you're really touching people. So let's move on. Let's get to okay. So I was right about Abi. He went 7 and 8.
And we said this because I think if we look back, we said this on the last podcast. Everyone, I said I didn't pick Abi for our
Fantasy.
Fantasy Sumo. I didn't pick Abi because I really have had a feeling that people would figure him out. And this Basho was a great example. Everyone has figured him out.
Yeah. They're all trying to get past those.
Everyone. Day 15 was a good example.
Good, but yeah.
He's good. But once you neutralize those arms, now I like that everybody figured it out in different ways. There was guys like Tamawashi, like there was pushers who just out pushed him.
Yeah.
And there were belt fighters who knew how to get past that barrage. And then seriously, Wakataka Kage and Abi, Day 15 was a fucking perfect example. Yeah. Wakataka Kage murdered that dude.
Yeah.
Murdered that dude. It was fucking solid. And Abi just did not know what to do. I hope one day he adjusts his, or works on something else.
Technique. No, he needs to work on his technique. He needs to make it more reliable or work stuff around it the way Takesho did with his pushing.
Yeah.
He put thrusting in there. He put Takikomis in there. He put if he gets in trouble, he starts doing arm throws and stuff. If it's like he's at the edge and he's losing it, work your way around, what you're doing. Don't.
Yeah.
That's your main weapon, but work around it. People. Yeah. The thing I was wrong about, I was right about him. Here's what I was wrong. I thought he'd go to 7-8. I thought Daisho would have a bad tournament. Woo! He also had 11 wins.
Daisho was on fire.
It was, but hold on. It hurt me though, because what I was also, if you go back and look, I thought he would do bad. I thought Shoyu would get 8 or 9 wins and then move up to Sekawake. Now, even with 8 wins, he's going to stay there. He is. Yes. Because Daisho's going to move up to Sekawake.
Yes.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. Because.
But you got to give it. I mean, Daisho was on fire. I'm not a huge Daisho fan, but boy, honestly, if I wanted to give a Justin, technique prize,
Fighting Spirit,
or Justin Fighting Spirit prize. Sorry,
that's fine.
It would be for Daisho, and this Basho made me a believer in him. I was like, damn. I'm not
he's a believer. I know he can do this stuff. I've seen him do this shit. He just can't do it consistently.
Okay. I might be jumping the gun. Let's see if he stays on this trajectory. But this Basho,
yeah,
the sumo gods sprinkled a little bit of sumo dust on him, and he went off, dude.
I think it was that early win against Tanafuji. I think it pumped him up, and he was ready to go, and he kept the high over the entire time. That's what I think happened. He's probably gonna move up to Sekawake. Why Shoyu stays down. It's killing me, but it's
okay. It's okay. Hoshoryu's got longevity. He ain't going anywhere. We will see our what do you
future part 1 and future part 2.
Yes, we'll see it.
Speaking of future part 1, Wakataka Kage barely kept his Ozeki thing alive with 9 wins.
Dude, I am so bummed because last Basho, you and I were fucking pumped. We were like, holy shit, all he's got to do is turn that magic on, one more time, just like he did. And he's golden to go, for Ozeki. And then he had a couple good wins this Basho, but it was lackluster. Again, this Basho was fucking weird. We were living in a fucking Twilight Zone.
I have a theory about this. Most of his bad performances were that first week.
Mm-hmm.
He won his first U show last time. I think he had a little hangover. I bet they threw parties for him. I bet they had him come out and talk to people like the donors and stuff and the sponsors. And I think he had to do that a bunch, and he was not ready for this Basho. That's what I believe, because it felt like the beginning he just wasn't him, and he wasn't him until near the end when he started looking like that iron knee, never go down, never give up attitude that he has. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
No. I get it. Like if I were to put myself in his shoes, being a young scrapping dude, like and wanting to reach that spotlight, and then you hit the spotlight and having all that on, I get it. I can see how it's like, oh shit. But just like, like in the Rocky movies lately, I've been rewatching the Rocky movies, like
I never watched the Rocky Balboa or the Creeds yet. I want to because everybody tells me they're awesome, but I haven't watched any.
Oh, it has been giving me life. It has been giving me motivation for Worlds. And I was never a big Rocky fan, but like, so in Rocky 3, he had already, he
That's Mr. T.
Yeah, with Mr. T. Yeah, dude, he was a champ. He was everything, and got a taste of, his, like the high life. But it was as if he forgot, almost forgot where he came from, and he had to go back to his roots to be able to, to face this young up and comer guy, Mr. T, or I think his name was like Clobber
Jones,
Clobber something. I don't know. Yeah. And so here's this guy who was like hungry, Mr. T, who was like hungry as fuck, and he, he wanted a piece of Rocky, and Rocky had to go back to his roots. He's like, fuck all this flashy shit, or actually Apollo Creed.
Oh, I forgot that was badass.
Yeah, Apollo Creed told him, dude, all right, fuck all this fancy shit. Look at because they had all this like crazy PR in his training gym. He had this fancy training gym, and they were constantly taking pictures of him. And he had to run away from all that, go back to some grimy gym on the West Coast in LA with Apollo Creed.
Run on
just
the
to get himself
tiny shorts with Apollo Creed,
way too tiny shorts. Yeah,
we should do that. We need to get tiny shorts, and we need to run on the beach before you go to the world. You and me, just like we'll record that stuff and throw it on. Like
yes,
my bad. I was trying to keep up with you.
But you got to put on tiny shorts and
tiny shorts. We're gonna have
knee-high socks or thigh-high socks. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that analogy is a fantastic analogy of what happened with Tiger in this one. And he still got 9. He still has a chance. It's a long chance. He's probably going to have to get 11 or 12 wins.
Yes,
to get promoted. 12 gets him to 33, the magic number, but I think 11 could do it too because Asayama and Shodai both got 32 and they got promoted. And they both had a huge show in that little run.
I mean, Shodai got promoted in desperate times, but we'll just
considering what just happened, it might be desperate times in this next tournament.
Woo!
If Shodai doesn't turn this shit around and we're talking he has another bad tournament. I don't think he will, but if he does,
the board might be like, we have recently had some openings in our organization. We are taking applications.
So we'll go to those 2 Ozekis now. We talked a lot about Takeisho. I apologize, guys, if people online, I went a little off on people today. Like someone literally said about Takeisho, he doesn't deserve to be an Ozeki. He never deserves to be a Yokozuna. I expect him to retire soon. And I responded, thank you. That is the dumbest thing I've read in a long time, sir.
And back when we were having our Asanoyama and Takakeisho battles, I was not a believer of Takakeisho, but out of the 3 Ozekis, and knowing how how hard, how much spirit Takakeisho has, I can easily say that he deserves to be an Ozeki, and anybody who says otherwise, they're full of shit. Shodai, I will never recognize him as an Ozeki. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just
for
can't.
Me, he's gonna have to turn it on. He's got the way he turns off sometimes for a few matches.
But who does that? What Ozeki does that? Think of old school Ozekis like you should always have 10 wins. Whether you win the Basho or not, you should have 10
going
wins.
for it, right? Or at least like have a few losses. Like if you get only 8, you've had a few losses that you're like, well, that was fucking close. That was a hard fight. Like it shouldn't be like you look like crap today. Or at least if that happens, you should turn around as soon as possible. Or it should be an injury, something. Shodai just, to me, looks like, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'm trying not to repeat it on the show, like he's totally happy that he's Nozeki and doesn't care about going further. Yeah. And that's what it looks like to me, and that bothers me. If
he's skating
Shodai.
Sure. Sure. Y'all can talk shit all day, about me if you want, but I'm always going to talk shit about Shodai. I'm sorry. Like,
this is a show where we drink and talk sumo. We're not Sumo Kaboom, really nice ladies talking about how much they love sumo guys. We're not Grand Sumo Breakdown where we do all the numbers and shit. We're here to drink and be as honest as we can about the things that we see. If you don't disagree with us, we've said 1,000 times in the show, throw it down in the comments. We're happy to talk about it. We have shows that we're going to line up for people who want to talk about stuff, and we're going to get to that. You got questions for us, throw it down. If you disagree with us, we don't care, but it's just what this is for. Sports is great for that. I have friends who don't like sports, and they're like, why would you like sports? I'm like, because there's these great stories, and you can argue with your friends over shit, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, it feels like it matters, but honestly, it's not like politics or religion or anything. It honestly doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan. If you fucking hate them and you make fun of me for it, I'll give you shit back, but I don't really care.
Seriously, if you would have come at me with like football stats, I don't know that I care. I don't know. Like they're not now. I mean, now if we're talking sumo, then you have sparked my interest, sir. And
but if someone gives Asayama a bunch of shit and starts talking to you about how bad he is or something like that, you might argue with them, but that argument doesn't mean anything. It's arguments that don't really have any effect on our lives.
True.
And that's what makes it so great. I love sports for that. That and the stories behind these people and what they do to get there and stuff.
Yeah.
What makes sports awesome?
Your opinion, like the way you feel about something, there could be people who watch this show and who are just Shodai, who are Shodai lovers. And actually, I think John Jax is a fan of Shodai.
Yeah, he likes him, I think.
That's awesome. I have, and it's your perspective and how you look at it, and we're just two guys getting drunk and hanging out and talking
about it. I
so
have an issue with Abi.
You can feel like
I talk about Abi.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Well, you know how much I don't like his sumo. I'm not a huge fan. I think he gets away with his athletic talent instead of skill and working on his technique. But if you disagree, cool. Argue with me. I don't care. Let's go. Let's have a good time. That's what.
If you leave a comment below, it's almost as like we're sitting. Me and Caleb are sitting on the couch, and like you happen to go like to the fridge to grab a beer, and then if you leave a comment, it's almost as if you came into the conversation and gave your opinion. Like, all right, cool.
All
right, well, let's get back to doing whatever we were doing. Like, dude, we're all just sitting here drinking and hanging out. So. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
So let's finish out with the top man, Mr. Terano Fuji. He looked pretty bad the first week.
Yes.
But I think it was rust. I think he just wasn't ready yet. And he knocked that rust off and he brought it back in the end. At the end, he started the last, week. He started even a little less than that, probably the last 5 or 6 days. He was like surviving. Staying up and running. Yeah. And then the last 5 days or so, 5 or 6 days, he was like, okay, I'm the Yokozuna. And he looked
all right, time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Day 13, dude. Man, I wanted to say the match of the Basho was Wakatai Kage versus Mitake Yumi. I think it was day 10 or 11 or something like that. I have to go back and look, because if I had to show people this is what sumo looks like, this is good sumo, I would show them that. However, day 13 happened, and Takakeshi and Terunofuji showed a glimpse of that beautiful stuff they used to have in 2021. And that is going to be my match of the Basho. We've already talked about it at the beginning. I'm just mentioning it again because it was a downright brawl, guys. It was two guys kicking the
as it should be all the time. Like there shouldn't be these clean sweep. Unfortunately, Takakeshi and Mitakayumi. It shouldn't be. I would hope that it wouldn't be like that. I mean, it should be. It should feel like a 7-7 match where just like where nobody wants to lose, and you can feel it in their bones. Like even
it was
when someone loses, like in those type of brawls, like you can even almost clap for the loser.
Yeah, that's
how it feels. Like fucking shit. I don't care who won. That was the shit. Like
that's what no matter which of you wins, this bout is legendary.
You're almost there, Ozaki.
I keep forgetting I have to breathe. Both of you, tough it out.
That's what I did, because Takakeshi was hitting Terunofuji and knocking Terunofuji back hard to the point where, like, and I don't know why Terunofuji doesn't do this with the other guys like Daisho and the other, like, I know all those small guys that he has an issue with. But with Takakeshi, he gets so low and just goes, hit me. I'm going to stay here and wait until you make a mistake, because if I get stood up, I'm probably losing. And that's what he does now. He's done that ever since about like that run for Ozeki, where he was like, I have to find a way to beat Takakeshi if I'm going to be an Ozeki.
Yes.
And then he did that. And I don't know why he doesn't do that with the other guys, but it always gives interesting matches. Because beforehand, Takakeshi just blew him the fuck out of the water. Yeah. Takakeshi would hit him, and he just fucking go out like in 3 seconds. And it got so exciting when he changed up the way he fought him. It was fun. It was my favorite match. I loved it.
This was this was an interest. I wouldn't say it's a great Basho. A great Basho would have been a nice four-way playoff.
Yeah. Mitakayumi could find a way to beat him on that last day.
I think day 15 was uneventful. Yes, there were great matches, but I'm saying like Terunofuji winning, and then like Daisho, Takanosho, and Sadanumi losing.
Ending up with 11.
I was like, oh, it would have been a great story for these 3 people who nobody would have expected.
Yeah.
To have to face off. I don't know. Like,
there had to be 2 wins too. It might have been a day where someone had to get 3 wins or 3 matches. It would have been so good.
That'd have been great. So
but it's still, I loved it. I kind of fell off of sumo during the Mongolian era, because I felt like I always knew he was going to win. It felt like those 3 Yokozunas, I felt like it was all going to be one of those guys, because they were just so good. Fuji and
I miss those. I personally miss those days, like, because
a lot of people do. A lot of people feel those days, but that for me, I felt it was a little bit boring, because I came in the 90s where it felt like all these guys, there was like half a dozen guys, sometimes even more, that felt like they could do it at any time. And it was so fun for me. And so
for me, I loved that dynasty, that it was just like, you never knew how they were going to do it, but you always expected them to do it. And it was just like, God damn, who could beat these, Haruma Fuji and fucking, yeah.
Yeah,
it was like it was watching like gods beat men.
Agree.
I was like, these guys are unstoppable. And then those gods turned into men because of age.
Agree what you're saying. I'm just saying I love even stuff. I don't like it when in any sport when someone just dominates like a long time.
But
That's just
I
me.
mean, look at Michael
like
Jordan, Tiger Woods.
I get that, and it got a little bit boring sometimes because you just kind of like with Tiger Woods, it was like people would show up and be like, "All right, who's going for second place?" That's what it was like sometimes, you know.
You're like,
who's playing for
cool, cool, dude. I feel like I won if I got second. All right.
I always wish that a little bit in the golf here, but I always wish John Daly wouldn't have drank, even though it kind of gives him personality. Wouldn't drink and smoke so much. But I think that guy was like the only guy who could have taken on Tiger Woods in his prime, because that man was amazing. If you drink like 21 beers and smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and you're in the top 20 golfers, you're a bad motherfucker.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, he's living his best life. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's still playing golf sometimes. He's like gray ass beer, drinking a beer, and being like, "Let's do this." Right off his mouth, he's driving it like 300 yards. You're like, "God damn."
He is the Sake&Sumo of.
But yeah, that's me. I love even stuff. I love that. But that's I don't want to be like, I get that some people just really love dominance, and that is cool. So I love these kind of tournaments sometimes. I love it more if the Ozekis were kicking some ass.
Yeah, well,
that didn't happen this time.
We will see in July after the World Games.
Yes.
Speaking of World Games, so luckily, I mean, I guess everything times itself out because we're Sake&Sumo boys, but I think after next week, I think that like I'm gonna go 30 full days of no drinking.
I will not join you.
Fuck you. Well, this is gonna this is gonna happen. You know, I love drinking and hanging out. I mean, it's a very Texas thing to do, and this has been quite an awesome start to the spring summer, and there's it's part of the culture, drinking, just like drinking and hanging out and stuff. But I am gonna be fully sober, and because with great accomplishments, you sometimes have to make great sacrifices. And
here, I got something for you, big man. I got something for you. Our next episode, if you're not drinking, because we're going to do some episode in between the Bashos, we are. I will drink double during that episode. If you're not drinking. All right? I might get smashed and sound like a moron on here.
That's okay.
But I'm doing that for you. For you, Justin.
For me.
For you, Justin.
I'll have like a sparkling water or some bullshit. Jesus. But I really, we've talked about this off camera. Like I really now you guys see us drinking and stuff, whatever, but I'm also training like fucking 6 days a week.
He's training a lot.
I'm training like a fucking madman because I know how hardcore these guys are. I've been to a Worlds before, and I get it. And I'm glad that 4 years ago I was able to see what the top dogs are like. And I just know that I have to bring my freaking A game, and this seriously is the year for America. We're pulling multiple medals.
Yeah,
I feel it. I know my other teammate. I know how hardcore my other teammates are. This is fucking happening, and I want to make sure that I am on that podium. First, second, third, whatever. We're bringing some shit home for America, and this is the generation that's going to put American sumo on the map.
Hell yeah!
So, I need to do my part. So, and then, like I said, with great rewards like that, you have to have some kind of sacrifice, and I know that that's one thing that I got to do. But right now, for this week, I'm gonna be drinking.
Oh man. Okay, so I finished my beer.
I'm almost done with my little rosé.
Well, I got another beer. I can open it up and keep drinking it.
No, I should. I've got some Texas sake work to do.
Work.
Like
I have to open in the morning.
Life things.
Or edit this for the next 2 hours.
And what? Oh. And tonight, I'm gonna watch. You're gonna be mad at this. I'm gonna continue to watch Discovery.
Son of a bitch. Enterprise. Watch Enterprise.
I'm sorry. So I've been mixing it in. I was watching Enterprise first.
Oh, shit, man.
Well, speaking of that, I'm gonna go watch Discovery.
All right. Oh shit. Actually,
we should probably stop recording.
And we should be like, oh, so I'm probably gonna cut all that fucking shit.
we can save that for like an outtakes video.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All of our just do a compilation of all our Star Wars outtake videos.
But okay, so thank you for joining us. We will be back hopefully soon with an episode that's we really been wanting to do mid episodes. Like we want to do an episode on Ichinojo. We want to fucking do an episode on some amateur stuff. Oh, you know what we'll probably do? The Cowboy Cup in Dallas is coming up, June 11th.
Yes.
We will probably do a review on that between Bashos. We'll do an amateur review on that one. That should be a lot of fun. That's going to be great. I am going hardcore into that. I really fucking want to win it. And there's going to be some good heavyweights there, so I can't wait to fucking do it.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
I'll do open weight and we'll see what happens.
Okay. It's your last chance. I mean, I hope you do because we haven't fought each other since Houston last year, but not in the tournament. But it's your last chance to hit lightweights beforehand. World championship.
We'll see.
And again, you get more people. I mean, more styles.
Hopefully, I'm more motivated. I don't know why I guess I'm more motivated for this one versus nationals. I was really not that I just wanted to have fun with y'all and hang out with my friends and I did not push myself. Hence I got, I don't know what place I got, but or second, third.
You got a fucking medal. How many medals did I get? Have I got the nationals?
Well, I mean, I lost to Joe, Joe Ponce. But still, if I was a heavyweight, I mean, there's a lot of fucking really good competitors in heavyweight. And there's a handful of great competitors in lightweight. I hate saying that, but there's amazing competitors in heavyweight. You've got an uphill battle. I've got a handful of people that I've got to deal with.
All right. Well, so wait for that to come out. We'll get that out. Normally I finish off with a drink, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll finish off starting the next drink. Before I start editing, I'm probably going to watch an episode of Discovery here.
Yes, my friend. I will too. Oh, I'm done. I got to hold on. Can't leave her. Every last drop.
So, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm wearing my my Sake&Sumo shirt.
This guy gets all the fucking shirts. It's not fair. It's fucking not fair.
My Raisin shirt. Yeah, I got my Dallas one, but this week. But yeah, I got my Raisin shirt. It has Bacchus on it. They put my name. Boom. Bacchus.
He's got a Dallas one. He's got this one. He's got the fucking Seattle one. Somehow.
This name, I kind of wish they were in New Orleans because if they were like the Raisin sumo club in New Orleans where the Raisin Cajuns are, that's kind of really cool. But they're in North Carolina.
You just get. Don't be surprised if somebody in New Orleans or somebody in Louisiana period has that takes that name.
Raisin Cajun sumo. All right, guys. See you on next Basho. Thanks for drinking and talking sumo with us. We love y'all. If you have any questions or you have any complaints or comments, let us know. We'll see you next time.
Peace.